Here we go then, the final event of this Sunday night. We've got the mixed synchro competitions to come tomorrow morning, but these are the final individual medals to be won. The women's 3-metre springboard final, and opening up, English athlete, 17 years old, Evie Smith. 2 bronzes within 24 hours at the European Junior Championships a month ago. Inward 2.5 somersaults in tuck to get her underway.
Well done, Evie. A little bit shaky this morning. She was actually start number 1 in this morning's prelim, qualifying in 12th position for this evening's final. She has lower degree of difficulty than the majority of the competitors in this final. So she doesn't have any pressure on her. I saw her yesterday. She said, you know, soak up the crowd, enjoy the atmosphere, do your dives and see what happens. Nice place to be, 17 years old.
And at her first Commonwealth Games, as is Clara Kerr from Edinburgh at her first major competition. She said she's just going to keep her eye on her own diving, not worry about the score or medals. Back 1.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists in free.
Neat and tidy. Again, both Evie and Clara have considerably lower degree of difficulty. They are the youngest, 2 of the youngest in the competition, so plenty of time and plenty of career ahead of them, barring injury. Here's Clara's first dive in.
Ong Ke Ying of Malaysia. It's been Malaysian success in the pool already. Silver in the 3-metre synchro for her teammates, Sabri and Ng.
Starting very tentatively with a low degree of difficulty. I'm pretty sure she can do a forward 3.5, maybe even in a pike position, but going for a rudimentary, very straightforward forward 2.5 in the pike position. Not really executing that well. That's pretty ordinary. So in 3rd place out of 3.
Margot Earlham, 19 years old from Saskatoon. Bronze medal in the 3-metre synchro with Mia Vallée, who's one of the favourites for the gold in this event. Margot not quite as accomplished individually.
There we go, this is more familiar with the degree of difficulty territory of 3.0. Many of the women opting for this inward 2.5 in the pike position. Margot needs a little bit more height and elevation from the diving board so she can drop in for more scores. You see here, mixed bag from the judges, 7s, but lines through them so they don't count. What counts is 5.5, 6.5 and 6.
Georgia Sheehan of Australia, who won 2 medals in 2018, gold in the 3-metre synchro, silver in the 1-metre. Hasn't had the same level of success this time round. Came 5th in the 1-metre.
Just a little bit of splash being thrown up. As she enters the water, she's got a good takeoff, long legs, so it takes ages to get round. Arching quite a bit into the lower back as she goes in. Had a bit of a tough time in the prelim, stopping in dramatic fashion for a restart on one of her dives. So hoping for an easier time in this final.
Brittany O'Brien, silver medalist from the 1-metre on Friday evening. Inward 2.5 somersaults in pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Oh, beautifully done. So that's a very fitted dive. So she's got just enough time to do everything she needs to do to get in smoothly. She would need more height and more drop time for more than 7s. But with the height and elevation she was able to gain there, that is a very good dive.
Right. Sabri of Malaysia, silver medalist in the 3-metre synchro. And came just outside the medals in the 10-metre synchro with Pandalela. Inward 2.5, it's the same dive.
You can see the height differential there, can't you, from Sabri versus O'Brien. Sabri way, way above the diving board, completes the dive with even more drop time, allowing her to grab the hands, get into the water clean. She'll get 7.5s and 8s, 7.5s count. 67.5 will put her 5 points clear of Brittany O'Brien, currently in second.
Now, Yasmin Harper from Chester dives at the City of Sheffield. A British champion on both the 1 metre and 3 metre springboards. And a bit of a struggle in the prelims this morning, but steadied herself, got herself back up the standings, safely through to tonight's final.
Yes! Wonderful start to Yasmin's campaign. All women doing 5 dives, every single dive counts. Yasmin making this one count for 2.5 1 twist. She has a better start than she had in this morning's prelim. Tom Owens, the coach there, giving her the feedback.
Grace Reid of Scotland, her 4th Commonwealth Games. Won the gold medal from the 1 metre 4 years ago, but ended up 4th on Friday night.
Little low to the water there from Grace, but everything else was good. Squeezing into that pike shape, she waits and waits and waits. Will she get 7s? I hope she does. Just keeping the splashdown as best as she can.
Now to Sian Bent Ashmel, one to watch.
Didn't she do well this morning?
Yeah, for English diving, 18 years old. European junior champion from the 1 metre in 2019. England diving's talent of the year that year. And as Leon says, really showed her promise this morning.
Oh, just a little bit of a tuna fish on the end, just flicking her feet as if it was a tail. Look at this, just, trying to straighten out with speed and accuracy, but unfortunately just going into a little bit of a back arch. Still gets 7s, which is good. She could have got a few more if she was just in that vertical position. Strong start.
Now, Mia Vallée, world-class athlete, this world silver medalist, the 1 metre champion from Friday night, won a bronze in the 3 metre synchro as well, going for her 3rd medal at these games. Inward 2.5 somersaults in pike for the Canadian, 21 years old.
Well, that's an okay-ish start. The champion for the 1 metre, she looked formidable and was formidable on the 1 metre. She doesn't look as sharp or as capable on the 3 metre, if I'm honest. Madison Keeney outclassing all of the women this morning in the prelim. And that is a pretty ordinary start for Mia. She'll have some work to do.
Yeah, this is the woman who was head and shoulders above the rest of the field in this morning's prelim. Gold in the 3 metre synchro last night for Madison Keeney and Annabelle Smith after they threw away the title in front of a home crowd 4 years ago. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike. Huge celebrations amongst the Australian team last night.
Madison Keeney, not known over the years for her consistency, but what I'm noticing now, certainly throughout this Commonwealth Games, that her consistency is coming, working with Adi Hinchcliffe, who's now based in Australia, and even there just losing her grab ever so slightly into the water, managing to hold the dive for 7s.
So Sabri of Malaysia out in front after round one, with Madison Keeney just a few points behind in the silver medal position. A tie, three-way tie for the bronze. Brittany O'Brien, Yasmin Harper and Deshawn Bent Ashmail of England. And another English diver, Evie Smith in 9th. Grace Reid of Scotland's in 6th. She's not far off the medals either. Just a couple of points behind that three-way tie for bronze. Tight after the first round, as it often is. So Evie Smith in 9th. For England, 2.8 degree of difficulty, forward 3.5 somersaults in tuck.
Well done, Evie. This dive got away from her this morning in the prelims. She waits patiently on the diving board, gets plenty of height, and she's ready to spot the entry there. Doesn't quite get her hands grabbed together. The entry is compromised ever so slightly. But an upgrade on this morning's effort. Clara trains in Edinburgh but dives under Aberdeen. There's a great pool up there. The club.
Have to get up there, won't we? Check it out. 7th in the 1 metre, Clara Kerr. Currently 11th in the 3 metre. Back 2.5 somersaults in tuck.
Oh, stunning. Lower degree of difficulty. And as Kat mentioned, she's just doing her thing. It's her approach. Very good way of going about it. Let everything else just unfold and you just do you. Great dive.
Anke Ying of Malaysia. She was 12th in the 1 metre. Now she's 12th again in the 3 metre for now. Early days, of course.
Sideways, but not as much as usual. You can see turning towards us here, the judges can see. So you see moving considerably to the side of the board, but also changing angle. So she's cast as she goes in, definitely wonky.
Margot Earlham for Canada. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike.
And that's an amazing dive. Waits for the board to throw her up, squeezes into the pike shape, and then times that exit to perfection. She gets 1-8 from one judge, which is deleted, so 7s to go through. Margot and a coach wandering off there to take a break, reset.
Georgia Sheehan. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike. Is this the one she came out of last time?
Oh, my word.
She looked like she was just over the end of the board.
No, she's miles back, look, miles back from the end.
Yeah, so I thought she was going to hit on the way down.
Yeah, no, oof. She was okay. She was okay. She threw her hips forward to get away from the diving board. Wow, how did she get 7.5s on that? That is an incredible feat. Just to move the dive away after bulking on the dive, stopping in the prelim. She didn't want to do that again, and she had a terrible hurdle step. Wow.
Get our pulses racing. Brittany O'Brien, who's in bronze medal position at the moment, just 2.8 degree of difficulty here. Forward 3.5.
Neat and tidy from Brittany yet again. Gets a good hurdle step right on the end. Opting to do this dive in the tuck position. Just losing her feet a little bit as she pikes out there, rolling over ever so slightly. So again, this is why what the judges are observing translates into the scores you'll see on the screen. There they are.
58.8.
Current leader.
Yeah. with 3.1 degree of difficulty. Hardest dive. Forward 3.5 in pike. That's the difference.
Oh, yes! Sabri laying down a little bit of a gauntlet there early on, or reasonably early on, midway through, in fact, this final. That is a corker of a dive. If she gets over 70 points, it's going to put the EBGBs in some of these competitors. Making a play.
Right, 8s to count, 74.40. Played her ace card and nailed it. Yasmin Harper of England in the bronze medal position. There's a 3-way tie for third at the moment between her, Brittany O'Brien and Deshawn Bent-Ashmael. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike.
Oh, she's giving it everything on the takeoff. Really gets after this dive. Whipping it round. Just a little bit aggressive on the reach back. So pulling the dive a fraction over. She'll come away with 7s. This puts her just outside of the medals for now.
Grace Reed, 26 years old now, came 6th in the worlds from the 1 metre, 8th at 3 metre, currently in 6th.
Oh, Grace just looking a little bit off there. That's first dive, not quite getting the entry that she needed. The second one, same story. She'll be below 7s, which isn't going to help her campaign for a medal. Let's see how this unfolds.
Group of 3 athletes all bunched up on 63 in a tie for bronze medal position after round 1. Brittany O'Brien has been pipped by Yasmin Harper, so that group has now splintered. Where will Deshawn Bent-Ashmael fall?
Big dive.
It's the 3.1.
Oh, she gets after it. Good rotational speed, plenty of height, little bit back from the end of the board, and she's in the corner of the board, so she made it difficult for herself. Just a little bit scrappy on the bottom of the dive, allowing the dive to just over-rotate. So she'll get 6.5s, which is good, but it would have been even better if she kept that vertical entry.
Yeah, so she slots in behind Yasmin Harper, her teammate. Mia Valley, who would expect to be right up in the mix for the medals.
This is a good dive for her, this one.
In 8th. It's the 3.1 that we've just seen from Deshawn. Forward 3.5.
Yeah, you see, she gets a really good takeoff. She consistently gets good takeoffs on this dive, making it a little easier with more time. You see her look forwards as she comes out of the 3 somersaults there. She could really make this count. Can she get close to 70 points and close in on Sabri, who is 15 points out in front, actually, at the moment. Maddie Keeney to go.
And here she is, the reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty. Huge talent in Australian diving.
Yeah, consistently able to deliver these days. Previously, the Commonwealth Games, we've seen her way out and then make a huge error. It seems that she's finding that composure required to compete at this level. And she is in 2nd at the moment, I think. Yep, but well in contention. And Sabri has not got enough daylight at the moment.
Look at the standings. Sabri out in front with Madison Keeney and Mia Valley of Canada in the bronze medal position. But look at that, just a fraction of a mark.
It's tight.
Yasmin Harper is in 4th, just behind with Deshawn Bent-Ashmael breathing down her neck. And then the 2 Scots divers, Grace Reed, Clara Kerr in 8th and 10th. And Evie Smith in 11th.
3 dives to go. 5 dives in this final. Every dive counts. Back 2.5 somersaults in the tucked position from Evie. Good dive, carries 2.8 degree of difficulty. Marginally lower than this in the pike position, which is 3.0. Evie just making sure she does the save through the water so it doesn't go too far over rotation.
Clara Kerr with a 2.8 degree of difficulty, reverse 2.5 somersaults.
Solid third round dive from Clara. Backing up her first 2, diving consistently. Little bit of ankle wash there as she over rotates. Evie and Clara, these 17 and 18-year-olds respectively, neck and neck for England and Scotland, having their own battle lower down in the rankings.
Every battle counts, every place counts. Comes to the bragging rights at the Commonwealth Games. On Ke Ying, back 2.5 somersaults.
Back 2.5 in the pike position this time. Strong takeoff, she is off at a funny angle again. You can see, we'll see on the different camera angles, you can't really see, well you can, that she's moving to the side and then cast as she goes in, holding onto a swimming costume as the water shifts it around.
Those underwater cameras are rather unforgiving, aren't they? If you've had an unfortunate shift of costume, anyway. Margot Earlham with the big one, forward 3.5 somersaults in pike, 3.1 degree of difficulty. She's in 8th.
She's pushing the degree of difficulty, be a challenge this dive for her. She doesn't have as much power as some of the other women. Let's see how she goes. Oh, well, she does it with precision, doesn't she? You can see that she's low to the water, but what she does superbly is waits, and then opens up with speed and accuracy, and she'll get 7.5 on that, and that will prove to be a leapfrog up the rankings.
Yeah, 183.65. The top score for now. Georgia Sheehan.
Really well on her previous dive with a very dodgy takeoff. Managed to get 7.5s on the dive that caused her all sorts of problems in the prelim. Oh, just running out of room a little bit there, Georgia, in with 2.5 in the pike position. She's very long legs, it's a heck of a long way round on this. You can just see her losing a little bit of form in the lower parts of the body. Really trying to work the dive in. Just not having enough zip.
Was that an eye roll I just saw? Brittany O'Brien is in 7th. She's in a tie for 3rd after round 1. So she's slipping down. Silver medalist, of course, from the 1 metre. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike.
Slight error there from O'Brien. Takeoff is good, but that over-rotation could prove to be costly when we look at the marks. So it's always going to be tight. You cannot afford to be making errors if you want a medal.
And this young woman has set her stall out, hasn't she? 23-year-old Nurdabita Sabri, who has a 12-point cushion over the rest of the field. Madison Keeney, the favourite for Australia, in silver at the moment, behind Sabri. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike.
What a dive from Sabri. She is responding to the occasion, rising to the occasion, I should say, responding to what her competitors are doing. And that was maybe one of her weakest dives, and she's absolutely put it in.
Yasmin Harper in fourth, but only by...
Come on, Yasmin.
3/4 of a point.
You've got this.
Behind Mia Vallée, world silver medalist. And Yasmin, a big dive for her, the 3.1 degree of difficulty. Forward 3.5 somersaults in pike. Can she catch the medalists?
She stamps the board a little bit, you could hear. Wasn't quite as smooth and rhythmic as it needed to be. She gets after the dive, tons of height. Rolls in okay. What does she get? 6.5, so I'd like to have seen 7.5s, of course, to close the gap. So she will stay, I guess, hovering just outside those medals at this point.
184. Of course, it depends on what her competitors do. Grace Reed with a forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist in pike. This is 3.0 degree of difficulty. Oh, sorry, inward. I'm looking at the wrong dive for Grace. Apologies.
Inward 2.5 in the pike position, third round dive. And again, just not quite dialed in. The takeoff is okay. And then you can see there, Grace not really lining up the entry she needed to, staying in a slight wedge position, not straightening out fully. Lowering the dive to just over rotate. Frustrated for Grace. Slipping away ever so slightly.
Now Deshawn was in fifth. But again, only by 3 points behind Mia Vallée of Canada after round 2. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty.
Oh yes, Deshawn. Get in, well done. Strong takeoff, reaches back and pulls that dive in nicely. Let's see what the judges go with. She's got tons of height, hopefully. That pull of the dive in, yes. They go with
yes, her. 8s, 7.5s, 69. She's a character, isn't she, Deshawn?
She is. She is.
I'm looking forward to getting to know her a bit better over the years running up to Paris. And here is Mia Vallée in the bronze medal position, the world silver medalist. Reverse. Sorry. Yeah, reverse 2.5 somersaults.
Yep, you had it. Reverse 2.5 in the pike position.
Because I made that mistake with Grace. Yeah. I'm doubting my list.
I know you've got it. And so has Mia. When the pressure is just, the screws are being turned, she needed to respond to stay in contention. And she snuggles up next to Deshawn with around about the same points after round 3. So it is tight at the top.
Yeah, but she slips down below Deshawn Bent-Ashmael of England with 2 rounds of dives left. Madison Keeney in the silver medal position, 12 points behind the leader Sabri. Inward 2.5 somersaults in pike.
Oh, Maddie Keeney just letting everyone know that she is still here. Maybe just starting to focus that sight on Sabri, who is still a few points ahead, but that gap is just slowly but surely, she's reeling her in.
Just by a couple of points this round.
Well, the DD for Maddie Keeney is just going to crank up, whereas Sabri's gone early on some of her bigger degrees.
So Sabri out in front by 6 now. Madison Keeney of Australia in silver. But look at that, Deshawn Bent-Ashmael has leapfrogged the world silver medalist Mia Vallée and into the bronze medal position. Yasmin Harper in 5th. And Grace Reed, Clara Kerr of Scotland in 9th and 10th. Evie Smith will get this penultimate round of dives underway. Is down in 11th. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in tuck, 2.8 degree of difficulty for 17-year-old Evie Smith.
Nice work, Evie. Just slotting them in nicely. As you can see there, that over-rotation will stop her getting more than 7s. Lower degree of difficulty will keep it down below 60 points. She's stepped up from the prelims, and that's all we can ask.
Clara Kerr in 10th. Just 2.7 degree of difficulty here. Inward 2.5 somersaults in tuck.
Nice work, Clara. So as Clara and Evie continue their battle. It's a good dive from Clara, round about the same execution marks, I think. Similar degree of difficulty, so they will continue to be within a few points of each other.
Yeah, 4 points apart. And On Ke-ying is down at the bottom of the standings. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike. Lands almost on her back.
She does. The ooh from the crowd confirm the dive is incomplete. Very short indeed. It's the first surfboard moment, real surfboard moment of this contest. Tidal wave being pushed away from where
Margot Earlham. Where's she in the mix? She's in 6th, so not far off. Back 2.5 somersaults in pike. Great forward 3.5 in the third round. Can she move up towards those top 3 spots?
Well, maybe is the answer to that. We will wait and see as Margot does everything she can do, which is perform to the best of her ability in this moment in time. The back 2.5 in the pike position. She'll get 7s for that effort. And we'll wait and see.
61.5. Solid diving. Georgia Sheehan, the youngest member of the Australian team in 2014. She was just 15 years old, now 22.
Oh, and that's a little insight into what she's capable of when it goes her way. And that hurdle step threw her up into the air. Beautiful exit, super sharp, clean into the water. Maybe losing her feet just a touch as she goes through, which is the last thing the judges will see. So maybe this didn't really get. She could have got 8s if she kept her feet together, I think.
I think that's harsh. Brittany O'Brien, the reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike.
Dropped to 8th after the last round. Again, similar story. Dive is okay. Just pulling. She tries to finish the dive off by reaching back, just pulling the dive over. It'll get 7s. She had a little bit of distance to make up as we look towards our leader, who has, interestingly, the same dive, so we can compare like for like.
So can Sabri hold off the charging Maddie Keeney? Reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike. 3.0 degree of difficulty. She's got a 6-point cushion over the Australian for now.
And of course, a silver medal earlier this week in the synchro. Oh, the first slight falter that we've seen from Sabri. Is that a sign? It's certainly opening the door for Maddie Keeney, certainly, but for the likes of Yasmin Harper and Mia Vallée also in contention.
Deshawn Bent-Ashmael, of course.
Absolutely.
Here is Yasmin Harper. Reverse 2.5 somersaults in pike. In 5th. With only 7 points off. 8 points off the bronze.
Needs to be good. Oh, it's okay. A little bit back from the end. Squeezing into her pike shape. She's got plenty of time. Just loses form in the lower back as she pulls the dive in. She'll get 7s, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But that won't be good enough to close that gap.
No, in fact, she's let Margot Earlham of Canada just slip through ahead of her into the final round of dives. Grace Reed in 9th. With the big forward 3.5 somersaults in pike, 3.1. Oh. I am reading all the wrong dives.
Yeah, 4.2.5.
Poor Grace Reed.
Yeah. It's a good dive from Grace. She's got 2 strong dives to finish, but has she left herself too much to do? Maybe. We will see. Never count anyone out. I've learnt that by going early on the commentary, particularly in this event, so I will keep my powder dry.
It was Grace we did out of a medal, didn't we?
Almost.
Deshawn Bent-Ashmael in the bronze medal position.
Opportunity now.
Only 3 points behind Maddie Keeney in the silver.
This needs to be
and 9
on
behind
the money.
Sabri in the gold. Oh, it is!
Oh, yes, it is, but not good enough. She would have wanted to put a dive almost down. So she's just short of vertical here as you look. Pull that dive round even more and she would have got 8, but she's going to come away with 7s if she's lucky on that, I'm afraid. Yeah, it looked like it was going down, but just a tad short. 10 points more and she'd have been exactly
13
where she
points
needed to be.
behind the leader, Deshawn. She's not out of it, though. And Mia Vallée next to dive in 4th.
Opportunity now for this young lady.
Yeah, she was just a couple of points behind, or 1 point behind Deshawn Bent-Ashmael.
Let's see.
Deshawn dropping points in round 4.
Oh, Mia responds, showing that class. Of course, successful at the recent World Championships. 1 meter champion, and when she needed it, her back 2.5 in the pike position is there. Just to create a little bit of a gap, a bit of light, a bit of distance between Deshawn and a little bit closer to that possible Commonwealth medal in this event, the women's 3 meter.
Madison Keeney with the forward 3.5 somersaults. Now this one could knock Sabri off the top spot.
I think it will. Watch this. It doesn't just knock Sabri off the top. If this was 10-pin bowling, this would be all of the...
A strike.
A strike. That's the dive of the competition this evening. She will get way over 70 points. And she doesn't just go into the lead, she goes stomping into the lead.
276. Let's have a look then. Madison Keeney, 13 points ahead of Sabri now of Malaysia. Mia Vallée of Canada in the bronze medal position, just pushing Deshawn Bent-Ashmael down. 7 points now, the gap between Deshawn and a medal, with Yasmin Harper in 6th, Grace Reed in 8th, Evie Smith in 10th, and Clara Kerr in 11th.
All right, let's see what happens on this final round then.
Evie Smith, then, of England.
Highest degree of difficulty for Evie.
European junior bronze medalist.
Oh, she really got after that. Good takeoff. Highest degree of difficulty. This is a sign of things to come for this young 17-year-old Evie Smith. Over-rotates there, which is a shame because she did all the hard work. Well done, Evie. Enjoy that moment. You've earned it. Hug from the coach, then. Wonderful.
She and Clara Kerr have been doing battle down at the bottom of the standings. Advantage Evie after round 4. Forward 3.5 somersaults in tuck for Clara to finish.
Clara's produced a strong showing this evening. Valuable experience, a wonderful experience, I would guess. And from what I've been hearing from the divers, they're loving and relishing being out there in front of this audience. Stunning setting, big smile. Well done, Clara.
As if on cue. Ying is down at the bottom of the standings in 12th. She came 12th in the 1 metre.
A little bit better for Ying to finish. Will still be finishing at the bottom of the pack in this 12 diver final. Commonwealth Games women's 3 metre.
Margot Earlham in 5th. A great couple of dives for the Canadian. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist, bronze medalist in the 3 metre synchro. With Mia Vallée, who dives second to last in this final round.
Wow, Margot has stepped up considerably from this morning's prelim. Let's just have a little look. She scored a total of 270 in the prelim. She's gone 40 points more than that in the final, so that is a huge increase. What a time to step up. The coach saying, get out there and say thank you to that crowd.
Soak it up, enjoy it.
Well done.
Georgia Sheehan is down in 7th. So 20 points behind the bronze medal at the moment. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist in pike.
Finishes off beautifully as well. Probably left herself too much to do to win a medal this evening, but she's done herself proud. She'll end up finishing just behind the Canadian, who we've just seen dive, Margot Earlham. Over 300, yes.
Brittany O'Brien has slipped away as well. Finishing with a forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist. It's the same dive.
Yeah, she's a little bit here and there in this final. A little bit more consistency in this morning's prelim. So we'll finish a little further down the leaderboard. Still scored more than she did this morning, but only by 20 points more, whereas some of the athletes we've seen increased by even more. Pressure's on for this young lady.
Yeah. Pushed down into silver. 13 points behind the leader, Maddie Keeney of Australia.
Controlling her breathing there. Posing herself.
Sabri to finish with a forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist. Oh, glorious!
She's given it her all. Really neat and tidy. She's slightly back from the end, which does contribute to the dive ending up being fractionally short of vertical, but she does get one of those clean rip entries. She's put down a marker, and that will be good enough for a medal, is my prediction. 3:30.90.
3:30.90. That is the marker. Now Yasmin Harper is down in 6th.
I don't think she can catch Sabri. Can she get close to the medals? It's going to be tough inward, 2.5 in the piked position.
Yeah, could do with the dive of her life here.
There you go.
The British champion. Looking for perfection for a Commonwealth medal.
It's good, but I think that will be outside of the medals on this occasion. She's put on a good show all day, making it through the prelim, backing it up with a good, solid performance in the final. I think she's just been slightly outclassed today. She'll get over 300 points, I hope, which is definitely an improvement by 30 points from this morning. Well done, Yasmin Harper. 3:06, great score. Just above Georgia Sheehan. Just behind Margot Erlam.
Grace Reed to finish off with the forward 3.5 somersaults, 3.1 degree of difficulty. The big dive to finish for Amazing Grace.
Oh, it is a good dive. Strong finish. Good dive to finish on for Grace. I think she's left herself too much to do. In fact, I know she has. Grace will be a little further down the leaderboard. Just over 300 points, you can see on her face. It's a smile, but she's a little bit behind where she would have liked to have been. Well done, though, Grace.
Now Deshawn Bent-Ashmael, 7 points behind Mia Valley in the bronze medal position. She needs an enormous score if she's to get above Sabri of Malaysia and into the lead with 2 divers left to go. She needs 79.95. I don't think that's going to be possible.
But she could get into contention.
She could.
She should get over Margot Erlam. Let's see. Yes, Deshawn, get in. Well done. What a time to do a list like this in front of a home crowd. Forward 2.5, 1 twist in the pike position. Just an ever so touch of a over rotation, but at the moment she slots in silver medal position. Unfortunately, there's 2 athletes still to go, and both of which can go above her. Oh dear, this is going to be agonising to see. Okay.
She can't quite believe it, can she?
3:15 for Deshawn.
Now Mia Valley, the world silver medalist, to leapfrog Sabri into the lead. Needs 73.65. Forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist.
Oh, it's good. That is good enough to score more than Deshawn, which pushes Deshawn down into the bronze medal position.
With 1 diver left to go.
Mia will be really close to Sabri with this. I'm not sure which way he's going to go. It'll be tight. Let's see. just behind Sabri.
Oh, into second. It's a guaranteed medal, though,
Yep.
for Mia Vallée, the 1 metre champion, bronze in the 3 metre synchro. And there's definitely going to be a medal for Vallée. What colour will it be? It's all down to Maddie Keeney, a red-hot favourite coming back into this.
Nailed on. It's a very manageable dive for Maddie Keeney. She's miles out in front.
Easy as you like.
Easy as you like. There's your Commonwealth champion. This will mean a lot to her. She's in floods of tears after the gold in the synchro. She is a cut above, a classy act, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our Commonwealth medalist, gold medalist.
Could well be the Olympic medalist come 2024. She couldn't qualify for Tokyo in the synchro, in the individual.
She's had a tough few years, hasn't she, Kat?
Yeah, didn't compete individually at Worlds either because she's been rehabbing after a shoulder surgery. Won bronze in the 3 metre synchro at the World Championships, though, just to give us a glimpse of what kind of form she was in coming into this. And then gold in the 3 metre synchro last night as well for Madison Keeney and Annabelle Smith. Another silver medal for Sabri of Malaysia.
Such a long time coming.
Did you hear that?